Oh dear. Welcome once again, everyone, to another Barmy on the Bench.
Hey, Badger Army. Yes, on the bench, on another sofa.
On a different sofa this time. Yeah, it's one that doesn't smell of cat wee. Yay!
Absolutely.
Hello, yes.
We're off to a great start.
We're off to a fantastic start. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all okay. And yes, we are back, me and him, and we're doing some on the bench antics. Today, we're going to be talking about a wide variety of filming things we're talking about. We're talking about some future Essex FBI plans, some future filming plans, and lots of other different bits and pieces, aren't we, my friend?
Yes. We spent a long time agonising over what exactly the hell we're going to talk about.
Wasn't it about 10 minutes?
It felt like longer.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, Nick's going to start us off with his plans for the future and different things that are coming up this week. Let's go!
What is coming up this week? Oh, it's my birthday in a few days.
There you go. It's Nick's birthday in a few days. Also, we're going to talk about happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Pride Month, aren't we, sir?
Yes.
Let's go with that first off. Let's talk about Pride Month first. Go.
Yes. Pride Month. Lots of people are like, do we still need Pride Month? Yes, we do. You know, as long as it's illegal to be gay in like 70 plus countries, and you know, you have things like the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, and you know, places in Poland declaring themselves as LGBT free zones, and Uganda trying to give people the death penalty for being gay. It's, you know, it absolutely is. And we are still very much as, even here, you know, okay, we don't have any of those ridiculous bills, and I hope that we never ever do.
I don't think we will, unless the Daleks take over.
You know, we're still in a position where something, people that don't like, if it's something you don't like, it's gay. You know, it's like, it's just one of those terms that's just banded around a bit, and people kind of use it as a bit of a throwaway term, but actually it can put you in a sort of frame of mind of it being an incredibly negative characteristic.
That's it. I mean, hasn't that sort of died down a bit though now? Or do you think some people still say it?
I've heard it the occasional time at work.
Oh, okay.
So
I prefer
during like with young people and stuff.
I prefer getting the bin.
Crashing on. But I mean, there's so much going on at the moment. I mean, obviously, we're talking about the LGBTQIA, like with lots of different areas that there are. You know, I mean, obviously we've had like transgender bills being banded around a lot.
That's correct.
And having worked with transgender people, you know, I've worked with transgender students, a transgender colleague. The radio station I'm at has had a transgender presenter.
That's right.
You know, and I've just come to learn that, you know, they aren't the threat to society that people think they are.
No, I mean, everyone's unique, everyone's interesting, everyone has all these different things that happen and develop, and they need to decide who they are. I think everyone goes on a journey, Nick, whether it be to do with transgenderism, yeah, whether it's to do with LGBTQ, or a personal journey, or a physical journey, or any type of journey. Anyone in their life goes on a journey. It just depends that some people's journeys are more extreme than others. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just one of these things where it's like everyone's allowed to do what they want, which is fantastic. And I really think that as long as everyone's safe and they're mentally healthy enough to go on that journey, I think it's fantastic and good for them.
And I like that there's more, that information is more readily available, book bans aside. I found out that I was aromantic through looking at through just kind of like information that was more readily available. You know, I remember reading information about being asexual, which I kind of sort of identified with. And when I heard about the term aromantic, I was like, that makes sense. You know, I've never experienced a lot of romantic attention, romantic attraction. I've never experienced a lot of it. And Yeah, and I've only ever experienced like limited sexual attraction. I mean, when I have, it hasn't always been to the same gender. So I suppose in that sense that I'm also bisexual. You know, so I suppose, so you know, being able to find out that information about myself, I think, has made me a lot more confident.
That's it, yeah. Well, that's great. Like I said, that must have been quite a tough personal journey. And I think, but everyone goes through these different things. I think this is what needs to happen is pride is very important. But I also think that being more open is important as
Yeah.
well. But then, you know, because that whole sort of time, you still hear people talk about, they come out the closet and things like that. I think it's a horrible term. When you think about it, it's really horrible, you know. I think things need to be a bit more open. Attitudes have changed within the last 30 years. Outdated terms need to sort of go away, get in the bin a bit, and just sort of we need to be a bit more open. Like you say, that whole thing of like gay being lame, you know, let's rewind to the 1920s. If you were gay, you were happy and spry and energetic. And I think, you know, it's like, how do you turn around someone trying to make a cuss word? Maybe you could, you know, say, why, thank you. I am feeling rather spry today. You know, and they'll be like, what? And I think
I
that's
might just
rather
have to try that.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Yes, indeed. And then you can teach them about the English language. So they come out with a cuss word, they come out with trying to say something lame and horrible, then you can turn it round and go, actually, yeah, I'm feeling rather good today, thanks.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. I mean, the thing is, it's like I'm aware of people who seem to think that gays have more rights than straights these days. No, they don't.
No.
You know, that's just movements towards equality.
Yes.
And you know, if a gay person calls you a straight so and so, which I have heard happen, I don't advocate that, but this person I know has used a lot of derogatory words against gays in the past. So
Well,
you
yes.
know, it's just like, and you can really claim the moral high ground. Not that I'm agreeing with what they've done, but you know. So yes, at some point I need to sit and have this conversation with them, but it's all about waiting for the right time.
Yes, of course.
So,
But then, you know, I personally think nowadays that there's this, you know, and it's good to identify, but what you do have to be careful of is labels, isn't it? And we've talked about this in previous benches, haven't we, around this time of the year, where you just got to be careful not to label everything, you know.
and everything has kind of like a there's lots of slightly different labels, which I think can be confusing.
Yes.
I mean, there's like there's a comic strip called LG Balti, where it's
Okay,
like
I've not heard of
balls,
it. Right.
balls who like represent the different sexuality flags, and
Right, yeah,
and-
you're going to have to show me this at one point.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
coloured me curious.
it's interesting. I mean, a lot of where there's a lot of different ones, it can feel kind of like a lot to take in, but. You know, it's like it's one of those things where if it's something that interests you in finding out more,
Yes.
then it's then I imagine it's quite a good watch. But yeah, I think the thing is, I mean, Pride Month is much more than parades and rainbow
Yes.
logos.
That's it, and we've been
Which-
through this, didn't we? We joked about it calling Gay Christmas before. And I do think you need to be careful not to monetize something that has a proper meaning to it. I mean, I think almost Christmas has got that now, and Halloween and other occasions. And if, you know, it's one of these things where it's like, you know, if it's not careful, it's going to lose its meaning. And I think this is where the heart of it is, where you think, right, what is this actually about? Is this about businesses doing rainbow flags? Is this about Instagram models and Instagram different things putting out just coloured logos on their things? What, you know, you've got to be careful that the meaning doesn't get lost.
Exactly. So it's like the term rainbow capitalism. It's
Right, okay.
it's all very well putting a logo, putting out like a rainbow coloured logo. But you know, is that as far as it goes?
That's
There are a number of organisations and companies that have done that have actually been found to be funding politicians with anti-LGBT views.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it than just a rainbow coloured logo.
That's it. Yeah.
There's a lot of. I mean, one friend of mine, one friend of both of us actually, works for a major news company and is part of the LGBT group there, and they're going and appearing at lots of pride marches and often giving talks and things like that. And the work that they're doing is brilliant. It's good to see kind of them getting out and doing that, and that's a good example of going further than that. It's a lot of it's like equality and diversity, which have lots of people shouting woke, but of course those people, you're kind of answering your own question with that. It's like while your attitudes are there like that, then that's why there's a need for it.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I think everyone just needs to be a bit more accepting and a bit more open and a bit more honest and calm. The 80s and the 70s and the 60s were a very rough and ready time of life. I mean, we've been through the 80s and the 90s. They were fun and that, but it still was like,
a lot of very backwards attitudes.
Yes, and it was very much
and
a lot of prejudice. It was very much the Wild West, and we forget that we think, 20 years seems like a long time. It's not really. The world has changed significantly since the start of the millennium, and all for the better, I feel. There's some kinks that need to be ironed out. Like there's some bits and pieces that everything I think just needs to be levelled. Everyone's all about, how they can get up and down, and it seems like everyone's on a race to the top. Everyone wants to sort of take over. Different attitudes, change different things, which is great. But I do feel, my personal opinion is, everyone should just be on a nice level.
Yeah, I think there's a degree of that, and we need to address issues when, the level doesn't work for everyone.
That's it.
That's the things that we need to look at. And,
I think I agree with you there. It's like, why can't everyone just get on? And I think it would be nice, wouldn't it? But there is a cause, there's a reason for pride, there's a reason for marches, there's a reason for these things. And it would just be nice if everyone was just a bit more accepting to everyone's way of life.
And people just need to realise that a lot of stuff, it doesn't affect them personally like they think it does, regardless of what the media tells you.
That's it, And there is that whole thing, isn't there, like media scaremongering.
Often trying to cover up for their rich mates by projecting fear onto everyone else.
Well, we've mentioned this, haven't we? I mean, it sounds slightly conspiratorial and slightly conspiracy theory-y, but there's always something in the news that's deflecting from something else that's going on. I probably sound like a nutter, but it's true. When you read the paper...
we kind of had that to some extent with certain TV presenters going on right now. You know who we mean, if you're watching this recently. You were saying?
It's 6 o'clock in the evening. It's not filmed this morning.
Either way, you were saying...
Insert awkward, cringy silence. Now,
so yeah, but it's the way certain things are reported in the media, and
yes, that's right.
And yeah, it's all about bold headlines catching the eye, it's just kind of like it's all very much kind of like the school kid who blames everyone else.
Yeah, them over there.
It was them over there.
It was them over there. Naughty. But yeah, so. Although we're not filming this morning, it is 6 o'clock in the evening, and I would just say that, we have to be patient with these things. The media is always going to come out with different things that come up, different ideas until everyone knows the whole truth of any situation. No one should judge anyone, really, should they?
Indeed.
Moving on, let's review some trick bars. Protein flapjacks, salted caramel. While we talk
white chocolate raspberry.
While we talk about your films that are coming up, and our different collaborations and our different projects that we've got coming up also.
Righto. Well, I've had a few recently. Last week was Romford Film Festival. It was the first time I finally managed to get to it. And there was a film called The Wife and Her House Husband, which I made a very brief cameo in during an AA meeting.
Okay.
So that was so if you head over to
Anorex Anonymous.
yeah, if you had I did post the clip on my Instagram. It was taken in the cinema. Not that I generally advocate that. But yeah, I thought I have to mention this somewhere because it's not going to make much sense to anyone else. And so I did. So that went out. I can't remember. I think The Wife and Her House Husband is on the festival circuit at the moment.
Okay.
And two short films that I've done recently have just come out on YouTube. We'll see if we can link them in the description below. One of them is a short film called Terrorism Has No Face. I was playing a white supremacist in that, very much against type. But you know, it was a challenge. The crew were really good to work with though, and yeah, you know, it's little things like that take you forward. And I did another one with.
Would you say that was quite a challenging role? Because I would not.
Was.
No offence, of course, intended, but that wouldn't. You know, I don't see my good friend Mr. Nick Field and think, oh, white supremacist.
No, normally I'd want nothing to do with them. But yeah, that was. I originally auditioned for another role, and then they got me to audition for that one, and yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what was the challenge of that sort of role? Was it like saying the different lines? Oh, I really don't agree with this. Did you find it quite cringy?
In a sense, because I find white supremacists quite cringy.
Do you think like you were able to do it the best of your ability?
I tried.
What research did you have to do for that role?
Well, it was basically going by the script and just kind of. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do a lot of research just because I really didn't want that in my search history.
No, of course not.
So I just kind of took the words and just kind of put them right. How would someone in that position report it? You know, and I've met people who wouldn't necessarily call themselves white supremacists, but seem to have that kind of view. So I just kind of put myself in that kind of position for a bit. But it was the thing is, it was all very exaggerated anyway. So it was
a bit of a random one.
Yeah. But, and I did a film called.
I have another one, if that's okay.
You owe me.
I owe you.
Then I did another film called Noli Me Flere, which is Latin for "Don't Cry for Me."
Oh, okay.
And
Argentina, the truth is I never left you through all my dark days, my mad existence. I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
That was another really interesting one to work on because it was about a guy who works in a factory and he's slowly getting poisoned by the job. So that was really
mentally or
mentally and physically.
Oh, okay.
There's a few coughing up blood moments.
Grim.
So yeah, don't watch it during dinner.
No. Or tea.
So that one was really. So yeah, that was another really interesting one. It was quite an emotional performance for that one. So yeah.
Who did you play in that film?
A guy called Brett who works at a factory and the work is slowly poisoning him.
Oh right, okay.
And he needs to do something about it.
So you're like the title character then? Oh.
Yeah, so like I say, it was a good challenging role and a very sort of emotional role as well. So that was one that I actually enjoyed that a lot more than I was expecting to.
Do I need to copyright Brett Gooks? You can steal my name.
The character's name is Brett Peel.
Oh, okay.
So yes, I did think it was a bit coincidental that all of a sudden I have these two prominent characters called Brett.
Not lemon peel then.
No.
Okay.
So that was a really interesting one to do. I've got my next feature film role coming up in a couple of weeks.
Very sweet.
It's a horror film called The Whisper in the Woods.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's going to be very interesting. It's going to be one of my largest roles to date.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, that's that's going to be really interesting. The storyline is a bit too complicated to explain here. I play an author. So yeah, it's and a book that I write, and kind of like some of the and there's some controversies surrounding it. Let's put it that way. That's going to be really fascinating. I think that's definitely going to be one to watch later on. So yeah, looking forward to that. So yes, just need to learn all my lines now. I hope the director doesn't see this. It'll be fine, matey.
It'll be fine.
So yeah, so that's coming up. So yeah, those are the main things coming up at the moment. Hopefully some other projects coming soon as well. And I'm always available for voiceover work.
We're going to be launching the Essex FBI TikTok very soon, which we're going to have some short comedic vinaigrettes. We are currently working on an exciting adventure, aren't we, Nicholas? Where we've got Viking involved, we've got yourself, Badger Jr.'s got some bits, and we're doing like a sort of an ongoing storyline involving Brett and Viking and your character as well. So that's Neil, isn't it? Yeah. So we've got Neil, Brett and Viking and Badger Jr. in that one, and that's going to be really funny. There's a board games championship as always, and then it's going to be what happens next and what happens before that, sort of thing. It's sort of like, obviously, we always sort of, I painted Brett as a bit of an evil villain anyway, just by coincidence, from the fact that I lost all the games.
We didn't even plan that.
We didn't even plan that. So I sort of took that idea and went 1,000 miles an hour with it and started writing notes and thought, well, how can we develop this into a storyline to go around the board games? And we started doing that in different vinaigrettes and like the little chats as well anyway. And I thought, well, how can we add more scenes to this to beef it up and make it a feature film out of it? So obviously Big Etta Mania was our first one where we did that, and you were in that for the voiceovers, and in this one you're in for the main bit as well as the voiceover. So I'm very proud of that. I basically, the other day I got bored and I took myself out and I filmed a film and I've called it Forest of Ash, and now I've developed that. I don't know if you guys remember from a while back I was talking about the haunted doll idea. You remember when we were
that idea has been jumping around for quite a while now.
So I thought, well, I'm going to get this off the go. I'm going to get this off the boil. I'm going to actually start doing this project because I've been thinking about it for months. I need to just do it.
It is perfectly normal to be sitting on ideas for absolutely months.
But it was like getting at me. It was chipping away. I'm like, come on, we got to do this. So, the idea is that we have Forest of Ash. Then we have Cringe Dating, which will be part of it. And then there'll be a scene in Cringe Dating that sort of pushes off with me and Nick and Viking and some others, that will then push off to another film where we have the finale of that trilogy. And that will be the Cringe Dating universe, which is obviously part of Essex FBI and everything anyway. So then everything works out fine. And of course, there's going to be some interesting bits and pieces in Exciting Adventure where you get a link to a previous film, as I've said. I think that's going to take place during, so Exciting Adventure is going to take place during Multiversal Meditation Madness.
And if you manage to follow all of that, Well done.
Well done. See, it's not called the Badger Cinematic Universe for anything. You know, you guys wanted some sort of Marvel-esque.
Oh,
little
we're all
tidbits.
very much into our cinematic universes now, aren't
That's
we?
it. That's it. So you've got it now. You've got it now. You want different films that link in with each other and have little tidbits and go, okay, little Easter eggs. You want it. You've got it now. So don't moan, okay? Because you asked for it. A B-movie universe with an interlocking connection of variety of films. There you go. Enjoy it. You've been served. But yeah, Forest of Ash will come out in a few weeks once I've finished editing it. Nick's hopefully going to film a quick cameo for that as well to add in, which will be fantastic, to beef it up a bit more and to add some gravitas, which is what we like, a bit of gravitas, don't we? And then we're going to be doing Exciting Adventure. We also have a Hungry Hippos one that we've got in the can that I need to sort of think about what we're going to do with that. It may involve a zoo visit. Anyway, I joke. Or do I? But yeah, so there's lots of different things like that. I'm hoping to film some bits and pieces in Camden with yourself and Roderick, maybe some others. We're going to do a film that's inspired by a Two Ronnies sketch, aren't we, at some point? Which is the Phantom Raspberry Blow of London Town.
I forgot about that one.
That is something that's been on the, off the boil for a while that needs to be get cracking on with, which I'm hoping to do at some point. And I'm also hoping to do a video game adaptation, which will be our first one, which is a video game adaptation on Murder House. So that's going to be fun. And that's going to be pretty interesting because that is going to be elements of hard horror and comedy and almost like quite spooky stuff. So that's going to be fun. Need to get some costumes for that and some bits and pieces. So if you'd like to donate towards the proceeds of that, I do need lots of dosh to get props, fake blood, all sorts of different stuff.
Sounds like you're going to have to do a lot of live streaming.
Yeah. Help.
All super chats welcome.
Yeah. And all chats that are super are welcome too. But yes, so if you'd like to donate towards that and help us with new films that are coming out so we can get new props, new equipment, different things like fake blood, all these different things that will expand our universe, that'd be fantastic. Yes. And there's more coming very soon. What did you think of these Trek bars, old chap?
I like Trek bars. I've liked Trek bars for a long, long time.
I like Trek bars.
And yes, I think although they're like really high in carbs and they don't have as much protein as they like to make out that they do compared to some other ones. I mean, I've found other protein bars which are a bit more high protein.
Yeah.
But on the whole, they have a job to do and they do it.
Is it the Tesco's of protein bar?
A little.
Oh, that's a bit
But yeah,
bit
I mean,
vanilla.
now the thing is, I mean, I kind of found that there's a lot of other places where you can get ones that are kind of like vegan and dairy free,
Yeah.
and are often a bit higher protein. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some I found that I really like that have been that were on offer a while back. So I think Misfits make some good ones. My Protein and My Vegan.
My protein, they're good.
They are
I
really good.
do like my protein.
I order a lot of stuff from them. And there's another called Otein, which is
Otein.
very good.
Oh, Ovaltine.
Not Ovaltine, no.
An old lady's drink.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And Yummos do some very good stuff as well. So there's quite a lot out there which is which is pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
You know, and a lot of it's kind of like slightly lower carb as well. You know, and protein cereals like Cereal, Misfits do one, Grandma Crunch, Yummos. There's some really good protein cereals out there that aren't too high in carbs.
Nice.
So yes, so
Just
that's
a footnote, don't eat your grandmas. They may be crunchy, but don't eat them.
yeah, and yeah, I mean there's a ton. There's tons of videos at YouTubers out there that are sponsored by Magic Spoon. I might try them at some point as well. They're basically they look a bit like the cereals we used to have as kids, but don't have anymore because they're far too sugary.
Yeah, the ones with the free stuff in.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Ooh.
So there's a lot of good stuff there.
Maybe later on the spoon, by the way. Not quite sure yet. I personally think that these Trek bars are really nice.
And I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, you say 9 grams of protein isn't really that great. The fact that it's plant-based is fantastic. So no piggy wiggles or animals or chickens have been hurt in this.
Yeah,
this
and it's dairy free as well. I've had to cut down on dairy a lot.
Feeling a bit lactose intolerant, dear?
Not even that. The thing is, I'm often thinking of like my voice and things like that.
Yes.
And dairy isn't great for your voice.
It's not. No.
So I just tend to have dairy towards the end of the day. So I'll maybe have a protein yogurt. My protein hot chocolate is
nice.
really, really nice. That's a really good one to go to bed on.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah.
I wouldn't fall asleep on hot chocolate, Nick. That sounds painful.
No, not literally.
No. But yes, I found them really nice. I really liked these. 9 grams of protein is alright, it's good. The flavour was nice. It didn't feel like I was eating sawdust, which is always a plus. So yeah, I really like them. The salted caramel was just about there. But I'm one of these people who I like my salted caramel salty. That probably sounds like a contradiction in terms, and, you know, it is a bit. It just needed that little bit extra salt, you know. I know obviously they're trying to keep the sodium levels and things like that down, sugar levels down, but for me, just that teeny whizzle bit more.
I mean, there's some salt in the kitchen that you can go and sprinkle on it next time if you like.
I think that might be an idea. But yeah, I just think that these sorts of things might need a little bit of extra salt to give it a little bit of a bang. But otherwise, fantastic. Like you say, does the job. I'm not hungry anymore. I feel better. And then we go. It's good. Had a nice cup of tea. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And yeah, it was good. So I would say a good solid 6 out of 10 for my Trek protein bar. Salted caramel. Does the job. Tastes okay. Not that offensive.
I'd give white chocolate and raspberry. I would probably give it. Either a 6.5 or a 7.
6.5 or a 7.
I do like that they've got a lot more flavours nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, they've actually got quite a few different ones. They've got I think there's a peanut butter one.
Nice.
There's a lemon one.
Ooh, lemon.
That's I think it's lemon and something else. Can't exactly remember now. So you got these two flavours. So yeah, there's some good ones. There's also a good one, Trek Coca Chaos.
Oh, okay.
Which I hardly seem to see in stores now. I used to buy that one loads.
I think,
because the good thing about that one is it's also like one of your 5 a day because it's made from dates.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, haven't seen that one much recently, but
look on Amazon,
Trek Coca Chaos is another one that I definitely recommend.
Nice. Well, we have to have a look, see if we can find that on Amazon for you or something. On a bulk buy thingy. Right. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this On the Bench. This has been an exciting bump on the bench.
I know. I thought we did pretty well because considering we started this, we're like, what the hell can we talk about besides one thing that we probably shouldn't talk about? So yeah.
It's not the morning anymore, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Indeed.
So yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you, and comment, yes, I did it.
Yes, I did it. I managed to watch till the end. Thank God, and I've not gone mad. Mummy, the paint's dripping off the walls. See you all later. Thanks very much, and it's been a great one. Look after yourselves. Keep safe. Keep well. Much love, everyone. And we'll see you in the next vlog, video, stream, movie, or short.
In the meantime, like the video, share it with someone, and just thank you.
Just thank you. Big thank yous. And a big thank you to everyone that's watched On The Bench for these years. How long have we been doing this on and off, old chap? Quite a while now.
Yeah, the first video we did together was in May 2017.
Right.
We did a couple of bits and bobs, and then we started doing it on the regular at the start of 2018.
Right.
Which was a while ago now.
Yes.
It's like I have more grey hair now than when we started.
Yes. So this has been going for 5 odd years.
Yeah.
And then we started doing the films about 7 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit longer than that. Yeah, it was August last year that we did the first one.
It was. It was the start of last summer. So yes, that's been about that time. So yeah, isn't that awesome? So please write down in the comments your favourite film. I'm betting half of everyone's going to write Bellamoran.
It was a good film.
It was.
I'm proud of what we achieved.
I'm
with that.
very proud of achieving what we did there.
For a B movie, it's pretty good.
Pretty A.
Right.
And also, well, I'm going to stick with the controversial opinion. My favourite one is always going to be Multiversal Meditation Madness. Because I'm insane. And I loved it.
We know.
It was fantastic
Right.
to edit, and that's why I like it.
Right, I think we better end the video before everyone turns off in disgust.
Maybe. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, everyone. And if you're new, please say hi in the comments and write, I'm new. And if you're not new, write, I'm new and hi anyway, because it's funny. And more team talk coming out very soon with me and Viking. And Nick's going to turn off the phone because he's driving me mad. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go, bye.
Bye.
Bye.